Hi everyone, it's Jessica Dubzinski. Thanks for coming by my channel today to watch as I am participating in a video collaboration with my friends in the Makers with Heart group. So here's the card that we're going to be making in today's video. And this month, my friends and I are all focusing on different stamping techniques because it is National Stamping Month. So I have pulled out this awesome stamp set here. It's called Floral Sentiments, and I just love all of these different flower pieces. They can be layered together, so you can stamp them in lighter and darker colors to create some really gorgeous florals. It also has a lot of really awesome sentiments. So I'm going to start with this piece of white daisy cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 3 1/2, and then I've got a couple of pieces of periwinkle cardstock that I'm going to die cut this scalloped border out of. And then also I have some silver stickles that I will use later. And then I'm going to need my full stick sticky notes for the technique I'm going to share today. And then these are the colors that I will be working with, and I will leave all of those linked in the description box down below. So let's go ahead and start building this card. So the first thing I want to do is flip my Versamat over because it has a foam back on it, and that makes it perfect for stamping. And I'm going to begin with my largest flower here, which is one that I'm going to stamp in this periwinkle color. It's a really pretty soft blue. And I'm going to stamp one up in the top right hand corner and then stamp it again in the bottom left hand corner. And I like to start with whatever the biggest piece is because then I can work around that. Now, like I said, the cool thing about this particular stamp set is that it is designed to layer together. So I started with periwinkle because that sapphire color is darker. So I'm just going to move to this other stamp on the set here that goes in the center of that big flower. And then I'm going to stamp that right over top in the sapphire color. It's very easy to line them up. In fact, I don't even know that it needs to be lined up in one specific way. You just kind of look for where the hole is in the center of the flower and then line the two holes up in your image. And you can see how easy that is. Now I am focusing on masking for my technique. So I'm going to grab this full stick sticky note. And then what I'm going to do is just stamp out all of the things that I think I might want to mask on my card. So I'm grabbing 2 of the flowers that I'm going to use as well as some of the leaves. And then what I will do is using my micro tip scissors is very carefully cut those out of that sticky note. So it is sticky all the way on the back, which is really nice for doing this masking technique. And then what I will do is line up this little sticker that I have made and just lightly place it over my stamped image and just kind of line it all up. That's why it's important to kind of go carefully around the edge of your stamped image so that way you don't have any extra space. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and start stamping some leaves and some other flowers. So whatever you have masked off, in this case that is that bigger periwinkle flower that I stamped first, that masked off image is going to appear to be the one that is in the front of the cluster that you are creating. So that's something to think about, is to always mask off whatever it is you want to be in the front. So I wanted that biggest flower in the front, and then you can see I put that mask over one of the leaves because now in that little corner that I've created, I'm going to stamp the smaller flower. And I'm using peach and papaya for that one. So then I'll come in with my papaya ink and get the center of that flower while I've still got those masks on there. And go like that. Okay, I don't want to pull any of my masks up just quite yet because I'm still kind of adding some things around this cluster. And then the center, there are some centers for all of the flowers on the stamp set, and I'm just stamping those in honey butter. And again, leaving that mask on there. Now I'm going to keep building my cluster here. So now I'm going to put a mask over that second flower that I made. And I'm going to come in with some more leaves. So I'm just looking on my stamp set here to see which one I want to use. And I really like the vines that have a bunch of leaves coming out of them. And then I'm going to use the mist color ink to stamp off the side of that. So when I do the big reveal and pull all of my masks off, it's just this really fun, pretty cluster. So it is a little bit time consuming to do this process because each time you want to cover something, you're going to have to create a mask for it and then peel it off. But I think the end result is definitely worth it. Isn't that so pretty? All right, so I will continue doing that in the top corner, and then I will do it in the bottom corner as well. Now I can just keep reusing these same masks that I have made. I use them over and over again until the stickiness on the back kind of starts to not really hold so much anymore. So you don't really have to create a mask every single time you want to do this. Often I will just stick my masks right in the envelope with my stamp. And then that way the next time I want to use it, I have that as an option as well. I did find it really easy to use this little tool to pull up those sticky notes when I was done. So I will leave that linked in the description box down below as well. So now I have just a couple of spaces that I want to fill in, and I don't really need the masks for those. So I am using honey butter and, oh, now I can't remember the other color, but I'll have it in the description box down below, to create just a couple more flowers here around the edge. Oh, Sundance, there it is. Honey butter and Sundance. Creating a couple more flowers and then just filling in some of those tiny little spots with some leaves in the pine color. And there, I like that. So I just wanted it to be in the two corners with all of that white space going as a diagonal across the two. So I'll finish off that little bit. And now I have left myself this bottom right corner for where the sentiment can go. And like I said, I had a lot of options on the stamp set because it covers so many different occasions. So I actually made a couple of these cards and I stamped a different sentiment for each of them. So now that that main panel is done, I can start assembling the card itself. So I am going to be building this on a piece of sapphire cardstock, and it's just cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, a regular card size front. I had die cut these little scallop borders out with a die cut that I had in my stash, and that is that periwinkle color, which is so pretty, and it's in the main color of the flowers there, so it'll kind of bring some of that in. And then I'm just measuring to make sure that I put it on straight, and then I will do that for the bottom as well, and then place my panel right over the top so that I have that border peeking out from top and bottom. Except for, the stamping part, like I said, it does take a little bit of patience to move all of your masks and cover everything and move from color to color on your flowers. But otherwise, the card itself was very simple to create. So I have some silver stickles here, and I thought I would create my own little gems and embellishments with them. So I'm just picking 3 different spots around my sentiment that I will add just a tiny little dot of silver to. And there's that. So you can see a close up here. This was a lot of fun. I really love masking as a stamping technique. You can see there where I did another sentiment. I did actually create another card using this exact same technique, only on this card, you can see it here, I stamped a bigger front portion of the front of the card and made my own pattern background. So that was a lot of fun, but the exact same process. All right, guys, I am the last one to go this week, so I will leave links down below for the other ladies in the Makers with Heart group so that you can check out their take on some various stamping techniques as we celebrate National Stamping Month. All right, guys, thank you so much for coming by to watch. I hope you're having a great day. Happy crafting. Bye.